That's not too bad. Let it fill up a little bit. Um, there we go. All right. What a win. What a win. And we're heading to Atlanta, baby. And feels great. I just love this team. And it could be the high riding off of these last couple wins, but still, I mean, I love this team. They didn't beat Michigan, which sucks. They haven't been to Indy, haven't won a Big Ten title game. Um, but they're going to a national championship, and they have won. I mean, this was a good test for them. Gave them a little bit of adversity, and there was a point there where I actually thought we were going to lose this game. When it was tied 14-14, we had the ball, and then they stopped us on a 3-and-out. I know we didn't get past midfield, but we had to punt it. They get the ball back, and I'm like, man, if they score a touchdown here and go ahead, their defense has been playing so shut down all day long. I don't know if we could come back. So was a little nervous there for a minute, but we pulled through. Defense was amazing all day. I know they gave up, the two drives for touchdowns. And even one of them, I think Texas got the ball at the 40, so they didn't have to drive that much. And defensive line was playing great. I thought DBs played really, 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 really good. And Jack Sawyer put the dagger in the heart of Texas and won the game on that 4th and goal. Sack Quinn Ewers, forced fumble, picks it up, takes it to the house, 83 yards. Easily a top 10 play in Ohio State history. What a play. And for a kid that was as highly recruited as he was, they had the last 3 years that he didn't really live up to expectations. Didn't play bad by any means, but didn't live up to the expectations of a 5-star, a top 3 defensive end in the country. Ever since the Indiana game this year, I mean, he's had a pretty decent year this year, but ever since the Indiana game, he's been playing on a completely different level. Just dominate, just like a dominant player. Michigan game, obviously had the pick, and then I think he created himself as a Buckeye legend when he ripped the flag off of the pole. And then he comes out in the playoffs, Tennessee 2 sacks. Oregon had 2 sacks. This game he had, I think, 1 or 2. But pretty much the game winner that put the game away, Jack Sawyer is forever a Buckeye legend. And it's so great that he's a kid from Pickerington, grew up a Buckeye fan. He understands the culture, understands, what it means to be a Buckeye. No one deserved it more than he did. So kudos to Jack Sawyer. I mean, Buckeye legend forever. One of my favorite players of all time. He's really, really became one of my favorite players. So awesome though. And offensively, I thought Cornell Tate had a pretty good game. He led us in receiving. I think he had 7 catches for 87. Dropped the 1 in the end zone, but we ended up scoring on that drive anyway, so it didn't hurt us as badly as I thought it would. I thought Quinshawn ran the ball pretty good. Travion Henderson, 7 touches, 117 yards and a touchdown. Now it's a little bit inflated because he had that, screen at the end of the first half, which was such a huge play. Going into the half with momentum like we did, because Texas just scored. And granted, we were getting the ball to come out, like to start the second half. But Texas had the momentum because they were shutting us down outside of that, because we scored on the first drive. The rest of the drives, Texas was shutting us down. And then they get the ball, score a touchdown. Like, they had momentum. So getting that touchdown before the end of the half was so huge. And I didn't see that Trey leaked out, and I didn't see that the 3 interior linemen leaked out either. And I'm like, I just saw Josh Fryer get beat. And I'm like, oh, he's going to take a sack. And then Will threw it. I saw Trey with 3 lead blockers, and I'm like, oh my God. So huge play. And then trying to think. Last night was it was crazy. What else? Oh, Jeremiah Smith. They shut him down. So kudos to the Texas defense. They shut Jeremiah, one catch for 3 yards. But even if Jeremiah doesn't have the production that he usually has, he's such an important piece to the offense because he takes so much to, like, so many resources have to go to stop him, which then that leaves Carnell one-on-one with a lot of guys. It leaves Emeka one-on-one with a lot of guys. You get the tight ends involved more. The run game improves. Like, I need to. I'm excited to watch the film on it, but I'm assuming they bracket covered him and just doubled him. And there was a picture too that I saw that they had 3 guys defending him. Which, if it takes 3 guys to stop Jeremiah Smith, we already know that dude's a freak. But if it takes 3 to stop him, not just 2, but 3, oh my God, greatest receiver of all time. So he didn't get the production that we probably all expected him to get. But he's still has such an impact on the game, even when he doesn't get that production, because he's such a threat. Teams are so scared of him. And it was clear Texas, obviously, pointed out he is the biggest threat, which common sense, everyone knows that. A person that doesn't even coach and barely watches football, just looking at his stat line and watching his tape, probably be like, oh, yeah, he's a threat. Might want to focus on him. So, and they did a really good job of shutting down. But the only thing is, we have so much talent on that roster in the receiving core. If you shut him down, you got Emeka, you have Carnell, and they're going to get open one-on-one. They're going to get open easily, and then the run game's going to open up. I thought Will had a decent game. That one pick was really, really bad. O-line, Texas, their D-line, I did on tape, didn't look that good leading up to the game. And so to see how dominant they were last night and how much of an impact they had on the game shocked me a little bit. Josh Fryer was getting beat some. At least it looked like that on TV. And I thought Tegra got beat a little bit. But for the most part, I think we only allowed 1 sack. So pretty solid. And let's see. We won the turnover battle, which was huge. Obviously, Will had the 1 pick. Texas had the fumble to end the game, and then Quinn Ewers threw a pick to Caleb Downs. So we won the turnover battle. I believe we beat them in rushing. I know Texas only had about 2. They only averaged like 2.5 yards on the ground. But let me pull up the stats of the game and see if we did win the rushing battle, because I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah, we did beat them in rushing. We had 81 yards on the ground. They only had 58. Passing, they had 283. We had 289. Third downs, we were awful last night. 3 of 10. I didn't know it was that bad. I mean, I knew it was bad because we didn't put a lot of drives together, but Texas was 5 of 15. 4th downs, we were 1 of 1. Punted the same amount of times. Penalties. Oh, that's the other thing. The penalties last night really, really hurt us. Just it was sloppy. Obviously, Trey's penalty was really, really dumb. Which I want to know what that guy said to Trey, because Trey's not the type of dude to lash out at that. I mean, he was praying with Donovan Edwards when the whole Michigan brawl was going on. So the fact that he got up and smacked him, punched him, whatever, I'd like to know what he said, because that is not the type of person Trey is. So guy must have said some fucked up stuff or something, or Trey's emotions were. I really don't know, but I'm curious if I can find out what that guy said to Trey. But that cost us. That was a drive killer. Had a couple holds that were drive killers. PIs. Iggy had a PI on him. Jermaine had a PI. Yeah, so penalties were not good. Defense, specifically goal line defense. This might be the best goal line defense I've seen at Ohio State my whole life. And that's not a stretch. I can't really think of one that's even comes close to it. You have to think the Penn State game ended because they were inside I think they were on the 2. Ran 4 plays and we stopped them to win the game. They ran 3 runs and then the pass to the end zone. And then Texas gets down to the red zone. They get to the 1 off of a pass interference on Jermaine. Ran the ball twice. I think they threw, I think they ran the ball twice. I think they threw 1 pass, and then it goes to the 4th down. And one of the runs was a pitch to the outside, which, what a dumb play call that was. And no disrespect to Sark, because I think he's the greatest offensive mind in college football right now. But a pitch to the outside, the chances of that turning into a negative play is way, way, way more. It's way higher than if you just ran the ball. Because, I mean, if you run the ball, if it turns into a negative play, -2? So they lost like 6-7 on that play. And then it's 4th and goal from the 8. And then obviously Jack Sawyer, dagger. I was freaking out. I'm pretty sure all of Buckeye Nation was freaking out on that play because it's like I've replayed that over and over in my head, and I've obviously seen it on social media. That's all my social media pages right now is that play, and just what a play, what a way to end that game, and it's really, really good game. So we're going to Atlanta to play Notre Dame, and I feel really good about it. I also think Ohio State's played 3 of the best teams in the playoffs. I mean, Tennessee, who's better than them? I mean, Oregon's better. Texas is better. Who's better than those 3? Boise isn't. SMU isn't. Penn State, maybe, but we played them in the regular season, obviously. Indiana, we played them in the regular season. Georgia, I don't think Georgia's better than those teams. I know Georgia beat Texas twice, but Georgia this year has looked awful, especially Carson Beck. And without Carson Beck, they looked even worse. And then who else got in? Clemson? No shot. And Ohio State's also played, including the playoffs, Oregon, Texas, Tennessee, Indiana, Penn State, and now Notre Dame. Now, including the playoffs, they have played 6 teams in the playoffs, including playoff games. That is nuts. Nuts. Not that many teams. Not that many teams can say they played 6 out of the 12. They half the playoff teams. That's nuts. So I think Ohio State's obviously the more proven team when it comes to the national championship, and I'm really not that nervous about it. I will give and I obviously don't want to get too cocky because bad stuff happens. But and I'll give kudos to Notre Dame. I think they're 2 running backs, Jeremiah Love and I forget the other one's name, but I think they're really, really good. I don't think Riley Leonard's that good of a quarterback. I think he's probably the worst in the playoffs. Where I think he can hurt you though is obviously he's a really good athlete and he's a baller. Like he's an athletic quarterback that will do whatever it takes to win the game. He's just not that talented. And I think their defense is really good. Howard Cross is a great, great defensive tackle, probably a first rounder. I think Benjamin Morrison's hurt, so don't really have to worry about him. And then Xavier Watt's one of the best safeties in the country. So Notre Dame's defense is really, really good. And that's the one worry I do have, but I think Texas's defense was probably better than Notre Dame's. Tennessee, I don't know if their defense is better. So I mean, this is probably one of the better defenses we played all year. So that's going to be a little bit of a concern, but I have faith. I think, and in return for playing a really, really good defense, Notre Dame's offense is not good at all. So I feel good about this game. I feel really good about this game. Oh, with that being said, I'm probably going to end it. I just want to get on here because I didn't get to do a recap last night because it was late. and I wanted to watch Menace to Sports because he went live, so wanted to tune into that, see what he had to say. So I just pushed it off to today, um, and just said, "Hey, let's make it a live show. Talk a little bit more um, about the game, so I have more time to talk about it." But that's gonna conclude this episode, this recap of the Ohio State Texas game, and then we'll do another show. Might do a couple more, but definitely gonna do at least one more before the national championship. Preview it, and then obviously do one after. So appreciate you guys for watching, tuning in, and enjoy this last game of college football because once it's over, we won't have it for 8 months, which sucks to think about. And this season flew by, man. Oh my gosh, makes me sad. Makes me want to cry. Thinking about how fast this season. It literally feels like yesterday. I was going to the Akron game, and it was first game of the season, and it's like, well, I'm excited to see what this because Ohio State had so much hype. I'm excited to see this team. Actually, no, it feels like yesterday Georgia Tech and Florida State were playing in Week 0 in Ireland, and the season was just getting underway. Like crazy, it's over. But I'm gonna hop off here, finish watching this Texans Chargers game because last time I checked, it was like 20-6, probably more than that because Texas got a pick six or Houston got a pick six or not a pick six, a pick. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I'm gonna hop off here. You can tell it's been a long day. You can tell I'm tired, and yeah, that's about it. OH, go Bucks.